These are the UBLives SoleFlux Relax compression boots. In today's video, I'm going to take a look at what comes with these compression boots when you purchase them. I'll talk about the specifications and features of them, and then I will show myself using them and then provide my thoughts after using them at the end of the video. So to start, let's take a look at what comes with these when you purchase them. You see I've got one of the boots here. You've got the UBLives branding screen printed on the side of it. The quality of this boot is very similar to almost every other compression boot that I've taken a look at. You sort of have this checkered pattern on the fabric. It's a nice thick fabric. The boots themselves are a 5-chambered boot. So you've got one in the foot, one in the calf, one in the knee, one in the lower thigh, one in the upper thigh. You've got a zipper that runs the full length of the boot, but it is stopped by a little bit of stitching at the end. You've got a sort of what I call the 3-panel triangle design in the foot. So you've got an air bladder on the bottom and then bladders on either side. When you run the zipper all the way up to the top, you do have 2 hooks that you can hang the boots on. There's no sort of a size indicator boot on this or anything, but they are a 1 size only boot that's designed for inseams 29 to 33 inches or loosely 5'5" to 6'1". You do have the control unit and the pump on the side of each boot. It's located on the outside. So this is a really unique control unit because it is removable. So you can actually pull this off of the boot. You see on the back side where the hoses plug in onto the boot, you've got 2 buttons on the side to release that. I'll talk about the control unit itself here, but you do have a power button, 2 pressure control buttons, a mode button, and a time button. Easily control everything right there. There's a control unit on both boots. You do get 2 boots that are identical. Next, you get 2 USB-A to USB-C charging cables to charge those. Again, they just plug into the bottom side of these units, which again, you can remove if you want to when you're charging them. And then lastly, you get a full color instruction manual. This just walks you through how to use it. It talks about why some of the pain happens in your thighs. Definitely check that out if this is your first set of compression boots. So that being said, I will go ahead and try the boots on now. While I'm doing that, I will talk through some more of the specifications and features of these compression boots. So with all compression boots, it's important to make sure that you are wearing comfortable clothing. So that be sweatpants or shorts. You don't want to wear anything that's going to have buttons or zippers that are going to potentially poke into your leg or poke into your boot and damage the boot. So there's really 2 ways you can put them on. This is similar with all compression boots. You can either put your leg into the open boot like this and then fully zip it up, or you can put it on like a pair of pants, which tends to be my preference, and just slide them on. And when you're ready to get started, you can go ahead and just press and hold the power button on the control unit. As I mentioned, this is a 5-chambered boot. They are overlapping chambers, so you've got that seamless flow. They do have the ability to go through 5 different pressure settings, and those are going to range from 67 to 165 millimeters of mercury in pressure. You can easily cycle through that with the plus and minus buttons. There's 3 different massage or fill modes that you can go through: sequential, circulation, or whole. So with sequential, it is going to fill up consecutively the whole boot and then deflate. With circulation, it is going to fill and then progress and deflate the previous zone. So it's going to slowly cycle up, inflating and deflating. And then with whole, you can actually do some pinpoint massage. So you can select the bottom 3 chambers, you can select the top 2 chambers, you can select all 5 chambers, and you can just cycle through what section of the leg that you want to actually massage. So it's more of a focal point massage mode that you can just turn on those individual zones or chambers. So with that, I will go ahead and turn them on. Now, these are not connected in any way, so you do have to individually turn on both boots. You can do a different routine on both boot if you'd like. They are going to immediately start filling, and as they start filling, you'll see there is a indicator that shows which zone that it is filling right here, showing the foot. It automatically is going to start at 20 minutes, so you can use 10, 20, or 30-minute sequences. You do have the ability to adjust the pressure while it's going. You'll see it also shows here on mine right here, this is in kilopascals. If you just press the power button again quickly, it'll switch to millimeters of mercury. So you see there, I have this on the 112 setting, which is the middle range setting. And I have this set to the sequential mode, which is the standard. You see it's indicated with sequence here. If you want to adjust the time, you can adjust it while they're going. Same thing with the mode. If you wanted to adjust it, you can. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can. You do have to just restart it then. You see my other leg here, similar patterns. But again, these are not connected anyway. There's no Bluetooth compatibility between these two. Nice tight squeeze there in the feet. Now this pressure zone, or these pressure range, is higher than a lot of other compression boots that I've reviewed. Most other brands are gonna max out somewhere between 100 and 120 millimeters of mercury. With these going to 165, it's quite a bit higher. From when I've been testing these, the higher pressures are a little bit too high for me, so I've actually found that this 112 or even the 90 is a little bit more comfortable for me. Now, because these are battery powered devices, you have a battery life of 5 hours. It takes 2.5 hours to charge. Obviously, the higher the pressure, the longer the session, the quicker that battery is going to drain. These do not have a negative gradient compressions like the Therabody brand, where the pressure is slightly higher in each distal chamber. These are all gonna do the same pressure in each chamber, but you do have those overlapping zones inside the boot, which helps make sure that everything continues flowing towards your core. The weight of these boots is 6 pounds, 10 ounces. Pretty standard for the compression boots. Obviously, most of the weight coming here in these control units. So you see here, the indicator shows it's filling the 4th quadrant, which is sort of my lower thigh here. I've got one more that has to fill yet, but I'm just getting a nice gentle squeeze as it fills up. As it does get to my thighs, it is feeling a little bit tighter. I can definitely feel that higher pressure in the thighs, but everything's still inflated down here at the end, still comfortable. I can wiggle my toes. See if I can show my toes there. So again, you've got that bladder on the bottom here that you can see filled there. Much more comfortable than others that sometimes just have this split down the middle and really pinch your foot, having that triangle design. I will say the fill on these is a little bit slower than some of the other boots that I've reviewed. So we're looking at just around 4 minutes for that first cycle. And so it just completed there. There's a deflate period here, so it's gonna slowly let the air release and then start filling again. Once you turn them off, they will just deflate with gravity. There's no active pump to deflate them. Pull this out, it'll help it deflate a little bit faster. Just let the air flow out directly here. Sort of bend your leg and squeeze it out. So that's just a quick look at me using these boots. A few other pieces of information about them. So they do not come with a case, but you can purchase a case separately. And the case, they call it the Hyper Bag. It might be the nicest case that I've seen. Maybe one other company, the Air Relax case, was also really, really nice, but this is a really high quality duffel bag. It can be used as a duffel bag. It can be used as a carry bag. It can be used as a backpack. So you've got on the back side of it here, you can zip down this part and there's Velcro, and then there's backpack straps inside of it. Everything easily fits inside this. There's plenty of room. If I just fold up one of these boots here quick to show that, I still have a little bit of air in these, but they fit with plenty of room that you could easily put something else in this duffel bag. The fact that these pumps remove from it make it so much easier for packing. You don't have to sort of fold the boot around the pump or the control unit. One benefit of those being removed is the fact that you can really just pack them wherever. Even if you're gonna fly with them, in theory, you could put the boots in a checked bag and then take these in your carry-on. Just because of the batteries, I would recommend doing that. I will say the bag is a little bit overpriced in my opinion. It's priced at $120. When you're looking at, that's about a sixth of the price of the actual product itself. But I do believe right now they're running a special that if you buy the boots, the bag actually comes for free. So definitely jump on that promotion while it's going right now if you are interested in buying these. But otherwise, in terms of compression boots that provide a case, this is up there compared to some of the major brands like Hyperice, Normatec, Therabody. Therabody recently started adding a case to some of theirs, but the rest of them, you're really just getting a little drawstring pouch. So it's not anything that's actually going to protect your investment. So if not this case, definitely look at maybe a backpack or a duffel bag that you wanted to carry them in. The boots themselves are priced at $599, which to me is a great price point. That is finally, like we're seeing with some of the other competitors to this, specifically the new Jet boots are sort of in that price range. We're starting to get some competitive price products that are not thousands of dollars. So obviously this not being a brand that is super familiar, that's why I wanted to check it out. This is something that's going to be competing with some of those companies, especially when you're looking at those price points. They're going to probably start to win over some other customers. I think for a very basic level of a compression boot, this is a great quality device for that price point. Obviously, this doesn't have Bluetooth. There's no app. The boots don't connect to each other, so you can just do one boot at a time. But because you don't have a lot of those features, that's likely why the price point's a little bit lower. But in terms of just getting a basic compression boot that provides some flush, I think this is a solid option. I think if you're somebody that's looking for a really, really high pressure boot, which just beware, that's not always the safest, but this is certainly going to provide that. If you're somebody that wants that really high pressure squeeze to mimic sort of a massage, or you just have really tense muscles and you want to get that squeeze, this is one of the highest pressure boots that I've seen in the market. So definitely, you know, if you're in the market for that specifically, this would be something worth considering. If I were just to provide some more generalized thoughts on things that I like versus things that I think they can improve. So I actually think the quality and the build of this boot is pretty on par with some of those other companies. The Normatex, the Recovery Air, they feel very, very similar. The quality of the fabric is almost exactly the same. The one thing that I noticed is the boots are just a little bit shorter than some of those other boots that I've tried. I think maybe the stitching on some of those others is a little bit higher quality. Obviously, these are only a one size boot, so if you're really tall, you're not gonna be able to fit in these, or you will be able to fit them, but they're not gonna go all the way up to your groin, which is crucial when you are trying to flush all those fluids back to your core. So I think that's the one area they could maybe improve, is getting a couple different sizes. I do really like the fact that this is removable. It's interesting though, like when I first saw that, I was like, why the heck is this even removable? It doesn't really make sense why it would be removable. The two benefits, one of them I mentioned, is when you are traveling with it, it is nice to just be able to pull this off. And the other is, I've actually found that for charging these, it's a little bit more convenient. Just because you can, you know, put them up on your counter, put them on a nightstand, wherever you're gonna charge, you don't have to actually like pull the whole boot with it, because they don't come with a block. You do need to have a USB port or a block to charge it with, but just being able to plug that directly in is really easy. And again, it comes with the cords. It's just easy to take it off. They plug on, they unplug really easy just by squeezing those buttons. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't love it, I don't hate it. It's unique. I do love the control unit that it has the graphic that shows what section's filling. Not all boots have that, so it's nice just to be able to see it. It's interesting that it had it in millimeters of mercury and kilopascals. I think the pressure zones, or the pressure range, I wish there was a little bit more, that you could adjust those specifically within some of them. It's just sort of some random amounts in terms of the pressure. You know, starting with 67 millimeters of mercury is just sort of a random number. So just unique there more than anything. I will say the boots are a little bit slow to fill just compared to the Jet boots or the Normatec Elite or some of those other leading brands. And I think part of that is due to the way this pump is designed on there, but after that initial cycle, it fills faster the second time through. That's just that first cycle is a little bit slow. But when you are looking to get as many cycles as possible in a short amount of time, that matters. But again, for the price point, you're looking at a pretty good option in terms of what it's able to deliver. So anyways, those are the UBLives SoleFlux Relax compression boots. If you guys have questions about these, go ahead, drop in the comments down below. I will do my best to answer those. If you like videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel, hitting that notification bell. Consider giving this video a thumbs up. Helps the algorithm, helps my channel grow. But otherwise, these are the UBLives SoleFlux Relax. That's a review. Enjoy your recovery.